Okay, so I did my research paper on uncertainty reduction theory and computer-mediated communication. The reason why I wanted to do these two subjects for my research paper is because everything nowadays is just kind of going into the realm of dating in this example for this paper, and how everything has kind of moved over from meeting your significant other at the bar or at a coffee shop to now it's all done online. So when you're going into the uncertainty reduction theory part, it's just kind of all about when you first get to meet somebody. It's just like that first couple of minutes in that conversation is either the make or break, in the sense that when you're starting to talk to somebody, you don't know anything about them, which makes things become uncertain. But then research has shown that once you get to talk to them more and more and you become comfortable around them, that uncertainty reduces. And then talking about that, and with everything else, uh, many there have been many different websites that now have availability to do online dating, and I've mentioned it in my paper. And some of those sites I can just name offhand would just be Tinder, Bumble, Match.com, and eHarmony, or even Zoosk. And then going on to kind of like how uncertainty reduction went about, it was designed by Charles Berger, and he created these 8 axioms to find connections in the variables in developing these relationships, and those would be, as you can see right here, verbal communication, nonverbal warmth, information seeking, self-disclosure, reciprocity, similarity, liking, and shared networks. All these kind of go into the realm of uncertainty reduction theory, because all these can most definitely relate to when you're talking to somebody either online or maybe at a coffee shop or a bar. So with verbal communication, it's exactly what it is. You're using your words to communicate and send messages to the receiver, and hopefully that receiver takes it in and then they'll send the message back to you. Nonverbal warmth is just kind of, it's a fancier way of saying nonverbal communication, using your body language and other nonverbal messages. That also sends relays to other people and that significant other, and again, hopefully they receive it and they can kind of learn from you off of your nonverbal as well. Information seeking is kind of what I said previously, to where as you're learning more and more about that person, that uncertainty level decreases, and then hopefully the same will come back to you where you will receive information about them. Self-disclosure is just about your comfort level when you are about to say somebody you might think is a little personal, and hopefully that's where a judgment zone will come in, and hopefully they will take that and kind of receive that message as, oh, he's saying, or he or she is saying this to me, or he thinks that something must be going on here, so hopefully that could turn out to be good. Similarity, liking, shared networks, that kind of all goes into everything else that has been said. It's kind of like what do you have in common in liking and shared networks, kind of like interests you have, and shared networks, kind of like mutual, if you have any mutual friends or something mutual that you like to do. So going through the lit review, a lot of this research was done through Charles Berger, as previously said, about the axioms. But we're going to quickly go into the last part of it, which would be, computer-mediated communication. That, in a nutshell, is honestly about when you're sending that first message on Tinder or on Bumble or on Match.com, that it's within those first couple of messages that either make or break that mutual, or I would say that communication line. From the receiver standpoint of it, if that person doesn't like what that message is being sent, they'll just ignore you, and that's it. The communication source is over, and you have to go out there and find somebody else. That has become the social norm, because people really don't know how to deal with that certain type of interaction without being hidden behind a phone, like I'm doing right now, or through or just using their actual physical self to express what they want to say. Instead, they go through these dating apps and they try and find somebody through there, which is perfectly fine nowadays. But it just seems like everything else is just kind of veering off of the traditional way to find a partner. Then same thing with it, just kind of goes through it over and over again. And then just some of the research questions that I wanted, that like if I were to go further in this, I would be asking, what do people look for in conversations through online dating sites? So that kind of revolves in like based on like the dating app like Tinder, like it's mainly known for just pickup lines versus something like Match.com, just kind of something a bit more warm, a bit more personal. And I created a hypothesis to where people look for traits that they hold themselves and find a correlation in the partner and find tangible dating material. So it's almost like for guys, kind of like in a sense, they like people have heard of, they want to find somebody that's like their mom. So like people will kind of look for those certain traits and kind of hopefully find somebody that has those exact traits. And then again, it's like two more questions. Just what has brought people to the online dating scene versus traditional dating scene, and then what we have as a society relied on technology too much, and so now we go on a computer to find true love. So those would be the four that I'd be looking for if I were to ever go further into this research paper. I hope you've enjoyed this video presentation. And in conclusion, I want to say that this was definitely a lot of work. It was a lot of fun. I most definitely learned a lot about dating through uncertainty reduction theory and computer-mediated communication. And hopefully I sparked your interest to where you can gain some knowledge on it as well.